Hello there, Scorpio. Thank you so much for stopping by for your weekly tarot video forecast for the week of April 22nd through the 28th. I have already cleared the cards for the reading, and so I'm just putting the final shuffle on them right now. This year will apply to every single Scorpio who watches this video. If you would like to have a reading where I look at your own private energies, your own individual energies, then all you have to do is contact me to get that set up, and we can take care of you pretty quickly if you decide that you want that. The best way to reach me is with my contact information from my website. My website is www.amista.info. I-N-F-O. Let's put down some cards and see what's coming up for us Scorpios on the 22nd through the 28th. This is main themes that we're looking at here. Okay then, fellow Scorpios, the first thing that I'm looking at is our environment. Environment is any place where we have energy or effort invested. Usually it does show up as home, sometimes it shows up as school, work, etc. But what I'm seeing is that this is a really good time. We're going through a really good cycle with our environment. We're feeling like things are turning in a positive direction instead of a negative direction. Next thing that we have coming up talks to me about our subconscious leanings during this week, at least the main theme of them. Looks to me like we are feeling like there are some things that are changing as far as inspiration for us about what we're doing, whether that has to do with personal relationships, whether that has to do with work projects. Inspirations are being redirected or changed as far as what direction we want to go, what directions are we excited to go in our lives. Next thing that I have coming up talks to me about learning style and also communication style, main themes for the week. Scorpios, we are water signs. Learning style does have to do a lot with our own intuition. We're picking up a lot of things through those gut instincts, the intuition itself, how things feel, whatever, however else we receive our psychic intuition. We are picking up a lot through that. We are also picking up a lot of information through self-reflection this week. So we are looking at ourselves pretty heavy duty. And learning some things throughout the week. As far as communication style, looks to me like in our communications this week, Scorpio, we are being a little bit complex. We are building on ideas. We're placing basic ideas and building on those gradually to bring people forward to where they understand what it is that we are actually trying to get across to them. Next thing that we have coming up talks to me about work. Now, work for me is that way that we make a living, but it's also those things that we do to improve our own inner character. So when we've got work, what we have here is we're moving on to the next phase of security with work. So for some of us, that means promotion. For others of us, that means new contract. For others of us, this could be any number of good things. This could be that maybe a boss who didn't think so much of us all of a sudden starts to have respect for us and starts to, show some esteem towards us. And so this is positive movement forward at work. This is moving from one cycle to another cycle in a very positive way. So work looks really good for us this week. I like it. Our environment looks good. Work looks good. The next thing that I see is having to do with inner work. And in our inner work, we are really enjoying and manifesting happy interactions with the people around us, really getting along well and progressing forward in the different relationships that we have, whether that's family relationships, support network relationships, work relationships. Inner work has to do with improving those relationships. Now, the next thing I'm looking at talks to me about that part of our personality that's being grown or expanded as we go through the week. I think we are learning to play more things by ear, to go with the flow a little bit better, to not be such sticklers for the plan all the time. The next thing that we have coming up talks to us about those things that we stand for. So there has been some situation in our lives, Scorpio, where we have taken dramatic action. We have taken a stand for ourselves. We've stood up for what seems right. And other people may not be appreciating our stand so much. They're not appreciating that we're standing up for what seems right to us. They are just looking at it as things are changing and we're not exactly quite sure why. And so somebody's saying something to us like, why are you being like this? Maybe they're even calling us mean. Could be. And so, we're having to stand up. We're having to hold our ground. All right. Next thing that comes up talks to me about how other people perceive us. Usually, this is the person that we had to stand up to. And so, what we have on how other people perceive us is they see us as stubbornly refusing to change whenever we really should. That's their perspective. They want us to go back to that old way. They don't want us to stand our ground and stand in our integrity. They want us to go back to the old way of doing whatever it is that they wanted us to do. And so they see us as being stubborn and not moving forward. All right, next thing we have coming up is the lesson or experience of the week. Lesson or experience of the week for us Scorpios is work. We're going to be busy working, enjoying the work that we have. I like this card when it comes up. It's the Eight of Pentacles. It does talk about doing our work. It talks about taking pride in our work, about a job well done, and feeling really good about it. So, lesson or experience this week is we're going to have a lot of work coming into us. I'm always liking that. You guys know I actually love what I do for a living. Can't really call it work, but I like to see that card. And I'm sure those of you who have been looking for a job like to see that card as well. Let's see. As we are working, there's somebody that we are interacting with closely, and that is somebody who's going to be a more logical person. They like to think things through more than they like to feel things. So they're not exactly, on the same page with our personality, where we generally like to feel things more than think things. They're kind of coming at it from the opposite angle. And that's fine. It provides some balance. And so we are interacting with somebody who is really good at making a plan and following through with it. We're working with that person and really interacting, maybe even coordinating work with them. Maybe this person is bringing us work. Um, any of those could be happening. Also, what we're doing is we are looking on the bright side of things. I think that it could be tempting to have a pity party towards the end of the week, Scorpios, but we're not giving in to that temptation. We are looking at the silver lining or looking at the bright side, looking at the opportunities that are in front of us and not focusing so much on any kind of negatives that might come up. Ultimately, at the end of the week, I do see us stashing a little bit of money away, or alternatively, there's actually two endings for this week. And actually, maybe you're doing both of them, stashing a little bit of money away, but also um, being careful with our feelings, not to share our feelings with just anybody and everybody that shows up. Okay. So either putting some money, stashing that away, or else stashing our feelings away, if you want to put it that way. All right. So that's where I see us at the end of the week. Thank you so much, Scorpios, for stopping by, for listening, for sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all of your support, and I will see you all next week. Peace out.